beautiful beings. I am hopping in for a really important message that I think is so needed in humanity right now. And it's about awakening, it's about oppression, it's about fighting the good fight, and really what that means for us and what we need to be doing with this information. So the first thing that I want to mention is I got this huge download just the other day about oppression. And we can all look around us in the world and see very clearly that we are being oppressed. We are being divided. We are being projected at. We are being, driven into fear and division. And it's very clear what's happening. And it's simultaneously very clear what these agendas are that are playing out. Like, to be honest, it is so ridiculous, these agendas. It feels like they're not even trying to hide it anymore, right? It feels like they don't even care to manipulate anymore. They're just being so blatant about it. And I don't know if they're being blatant about it because the jig is up, or if they're being blatant about it because they just simply don't care and they think that they've gotten away with it up until now, and they're just going to continue to get away with it. I feel like it's more so the latter. And the reason why I feel like it's more so, we've gotten away with it up until now, we're going to continue to get away with it, is because we have continued to feed into the game. And as always, before I start this rant, I just want to say, take it or leave it, all right? If this resonates with you, it's for you. If not, it's not for you, and that's okay. I just appreciate you being here and having an open mind. For a very long time, I fought the system. For a very long time, I fought the oppression. I fought the agendas. I fought the shadow government. For a very long time, I made it my mission to fight back because I felt like no one else was fighting. I felt like I was all alone. I felt like I was the only one who was aware that there was even a fight to begin with. And this was about 10 years ago. And of course there were many others fighting at the same time, which was amazing. And I didn't know about it. It took me probably 5 years to realize that fighting the system, speaking about it, yelling about it, teaching about it, diving into it, astral traveling through it, fighting in the astral, fighting in the physical, picketing, rioting, signing, paperwork, all of that, right? Protesting, all of that. It wasn't getting anywhere. It wasn't changing anything. And even when change was being made within the system based on a protest or a riot or some sort of petition that you sign, it was still limited change. It was change within the same third dimensional system that I'm trying to fight against. And it felt like a win. It always felt like a win. They're listening. They're doing something about it. I've got a fly friend around. It was like, they were conceding, It felt like I was being heard. But a year goes by, 2 years go by, nothing changes. They're back to the same antics. We're back to the same system. We're back to the same puppets in the system. And nothing has actually progressed. And then I feel like all my dedication, all my hard work, all my pushing, all my research, all my fighting, all my resistance, all my rallying, it went nowhere. It felt like I was just wasting energy. And not only did it feel like I was wasting energy by fighting the system and the shadow government and the elites, but I felt angry. I felt angry all the time. I was pissed off. I was looking for a fight. I was looking to explain the truth behind the illusion to everyone. I was deemed crazy and kooky and and weird, but I was exhausted. I got to a point at the end of that 5 years where I was done fighting. I was sick and tired of being in fear. I was sick and tired of resisting every aspect of this reality. And I thought to myself, there's got to be another way. There's got to be a different direction. But I still valued truth. I still valued freedom. I still valued sovereignty. I still valued knowledge. I still valued breaking down the system. And I spent quite a while stopping the fight, probably about 2 years, to figure out what that solution is. What can we possibly do against a huge government structured elite that has all of the power only because they have all the money? What do we do in this situation when we feel so helpless, so small? And even when you do fight and you dedicate your entire breath, your life, your force energy to fighting, it still doesn't make a mark. Then what? Then what do you do? And what I figured out was consciousness was the answer. It was the key. The more that we go outside of ourselves to resist a system that was built to oppress us, without even realizing it, we're feeding into the system that was built to oppress us. Because part of their agenda is the resistance. Because what is that energy? It's a low vibrational frequency. What is resistance? It's fighting a system. What do you need to do to fight something? You need to be aware of it. What do you do when you start becoming aware of something? You focus on it. What do you do when you focus on something? You create it. What I didn't realize was that for years, I was perpetuating the system that I resented by resenting it. I swear, the more I experience this reality, the more freaking ironic it becomes. So ironic. Like, I feel like being human is hypocrisy in itself. It's just crazy. So what I figured out was that I still wanted to change the system, but I realized that fighting it wasn't the answer. Then I started to ask the real question, because all I had been asking up until that point in time was, what's wrong with the current system? And I spent years and a lot of money in university figuring that out. Let me get into the system to understand the system. Studying politics. And what I realized was that I was stuck. And there wasn't actually a solution. And I was just spinning my wheels. And what I realized was I was stuck on learning about the corruption in the system, learning about all the wrong things about the old system, and perpetuating it and feeding it by learning about it and projecting it and focusing on it and fighting it. What I wasn't asking, what I wasn't even focused on, is what do I want? What do I want in a new system? What do I want this earth to look like? What do I want this earth to feel like? I was so stuck fighting the old system, learning about the system and getting angry about the way that the system was and lowering my frequency and projecting that frequency and getting everyone else angry and pissed off and fighting the system. I didn't even stop to think about what I wanted it to be. Our focus creates this reality, both collectively and individually. I didn't even think that by focusing on what I didn't want, I was creating what I didn't want. And that's why we're spinning our wheels with fighting it. We're not actually getting ahead. We're not making progress. They're giving us a little bit so that we feel seen and heard. Nothing's changing. We got the same puppets. We got the same control mechanisms. We got the same bullshit. We got the same propaganda, probably worse than ever before. So the answer is to work on your vibration, to work on your consciousness. As you know, the higher the vibration you go, the more you shift your physical reality. I think we've all seen that, at least in a small regard. Hopefully a lot of you are at a place where you're living your dream life. I really hope that for you. And the second I made that switch from fighting the system, and yeah, it took me years to get here, I feel like I'm finally living my dream life to the point where I can actually tell you about how to live your dream life, which is focusing on the internal, focusing on what you want for yourself. Sovereignty, freedom, creativity, expression, to be seen, to be heard, truth, all of that stuff. And when we embody that within ourselves, we amplify that for the planet. And whenever I think about the planet, I only ever think about the most ideal timeline, the highest vibrational timeline that we can hop into. Equality, unity, fresh water, food, shelter, internet to everyone. Everyone deserves that. And any system, any religion, any government, any education, any financial system that does not align to those core values that everyone deserves, they're going to collapse. Stop playing the game. Stop it. Because you are an incredibly powerful being who is here to shake shit up. And I'm telling you that signing a petition may help you sleep at night, but it's not changing anything. Stop meeting them at their 3D level. We gotta go higher if we want to change something. We gotta go to the quantum. We have to go to the vibrational. We have to go to the highest possible collective timeline. Period. Full stop. How many times a week do you think about what you want this planet to look like? How many times a week do you get pissed off at how the planet is? Stop feeding it. Stop perpetuating what you don't want. That's what they want. So important. I learned that lesson, and I felt so awful. I felt so ashamed that for such a long time, I thought I was helping by fighting, by sharing the agendas, by sharing the conspiracies, by diving into it. I thought I was seriously assisting by rallying an army together. It's not about fighting. That's what they want. What they don't want is unconditional love frequency. What they don't want is acceptance. Because that acceptance of everyone and everything, and then the question of how do we make this better? What do we want next? That's what they don't want. They want you to be scared. They want you to be in fear. And most of all, they want you to be in fight or flight frequency. They want to trigger your reptilian brain into survival thinking. So stop. And I'm going to leave you with this. Awakening comes from oppression. It does. Think about your own awakening. how destitute, how desperate, how bottom of the barrel, how many wounds did you have before you started being sick and tired of being sick and tired? What place were you in when you started to figure out, I don't want to be in this place anymore? Who am I? What am I doing here? What do I want for my life? Because it's not this. You were oppressed before you awakened. And what's happening right now is there is oppression all over the planet. We don't have to fight the oppression. We just have to raise our frequency. That's what they don't want. Because that, my friends, will change everything. We are in a pressure cooker right now. And the more they oppress, the more they think they're controlling us. But it's just leading to a great awakening for everyone on this planet. At a certain point in time, every individual is going to question, what am I doing here? What's the point of all of this? This doesn't feel good to me anymore. So what does? What does feel good to me? And when we have everyone on the planet questioning the oppression simply because of the oppression, the Great Awakening will begin. And look around, it already has. Remember that they're doing it to themselves. The elites, they're not making it any better for themselves. They think that they're playing this game, and the more we feed into it, yeah, they are playing this game. But the more and more we stop the distraction, we go into ourselves, we raise our vibration, we concentrate on the highest frequency for ourselves and the collective, the more we create that for everyone. Oppression leads to awakening every single time. So let them stick their foot in their mouth. They've done it before, and they're doing it again. Let go of the conspiracies, let go of the fight, let go of the survival, let go of the news, let go of the alternative news, and know that you should only and ever be the source of your own insight. That is all that matters at this time, is the way you feel, is how you perceive, and especially what you believe. Thank you, Starseeds, for being here. I will see all of you in the New Earth frequency.